Here we are, Starship 22 is here on the beach in Cornwall on our way to SpacePort Cornwall because we've been given security clearance to live stream from the UK's first orbital satellite launch. Going to be an incredible weekend. We're live streaming. We've got our Starlink satellite dish. We're going to be running a load of live stream shows, a Rocket Kids show, a space show tonight with Homer Hickam and Lord Professor Martin Rees, the Astronomer Royal. We want you to be part of it. We want you to log on, we want you to come in the Zoom room. Tomorrow we've got a special Rocket Kids session for kids in schools across the country, if not across the world. We're going to live stream and restream the launch, and then we're going to do a final show in the schools on Tuesday morning. We're here with our Steamco pop-up art truck, which contains everything you need to run a creativity festival in a primary school, at a fete or at a festival, as we've done here across Cornwall, across Shropshire, because Cornwall was the birthplace of the first industrial revolution when Richard Trevithick invented that steam locomotion and took it to Shropshire, to Ironbridge, because only those Shropshire lads and lasses built a boiler strong enough for him. And that's why we're passionate about Cornwall, why we're passionate about Shropshire as birthplaces for the creativity revolution that our kids, our communities still so desperately need. So be part of it. If you can spare a quid to inspire a kid, chip it in. If you can spare £1 million quids to help us inspire 1 million kids, then we need to hear from you as well. So do check it out. We're live streaming all weekend. Hashtag Start Me Up, hashtag Launch UK and hashtag Kerno23, because hashtag Cornwall 22 is so last year. We're looking ahead. Be part of it. At SpacePort Cornwall, I've got a coffee, and I just bumped into this lady here. And well, it's in there, they're £3 each. I've had to pay my TV licence because this lady, who do you work for?
I work for BBC Spotlight.
BBC Spotlight, and I didn't recognise it because she had her glasses on a minute ago. I've just blown your cover there. And you were the lady who told me that you wish you had lessons like we had at St Just that day, didn't you?
Oh, practical lessons, things where you're really hands-on and you get into grips with things. That's the way to learn, isn't it?
Absolutely, inspire engagement. So what are you here for then? I'm here for the coffee.
I'm here for the big press conference at SpacePort Cornwall, launching tomorrow night.
Really?
First satellite from UK soil. Brilliant. Really
sounds like for the first time in my life, I might be in the right place at the right time.
You
I'll
are.
see you in the mosh pit.
And for one school in Cornwall, it really is rocket science.
And that's what we're doing. We're sowing that seed. As I say, we're igniting a creativity revolution across the country.
Now, they were aiming high and heading to space at St Just Primary School in Land's End today. Children were getting creative with cardboard to build a Mars landscape and rockets, hoping for a real-life launch this afternoon.
You know the phrase, it's not rocket science? Well, at this Cornish primary school, this is rocket science.
You know, America, where do the rockets take off? Cape Kennedy. Where do they take off in England? Cape Cornwall.
Today's mission at St Just Primary was less about thermodynamics and more about where to apply the sellotape to the paper fuselages.
Putting the paper in was probably one of the harder parts because you had to make it squish in.
And how far do you think it's going to go?
Pretty high, but this bit is quite wonky, so it might go off to one side.
In Mission Control, aka the computer room, Year 3 were learning how to code.
It was fun, but at the start it was a bit hard.
Unfortunately, as so often happens with dynamic flight, there was a hitch with the proper dynamite rocket that was due to lift off.
I hadn't realised there's an airport just down the road until we did the risk assessments, and they weren't able to give us a flight window. But the kids were just as happy rolling pieces of paper like this, a bit of masking tape, a bit of plumber's pipe, and they made rockets. You heard the buzz, you heard the excitement, you saw the looks on those faces of those parents. They want to come back and do this. And that's what we're doing. We're sowing that seed. As I say, we're igniting a creativity revolution across the country.
You know, the kids have had a pretty miserable time during lockdown. There's a big push on getting standards higher. But what we also want to do, and what education's also about, is kids having fun.
Did we lose our internet connection then? Can we have I'll tell you what, we are playing in the dark here. We're shooting in the dark and we've had all sorts of technical issues. So can you do me a favour, and if you're watching this, just type a little message in and tell me who you are, where you are, and I'll put some shout out. So let's have some shout out. We are here in Cornwall. I'm going to prove this to you in a minute. Let's have some shout outs. Who you are and where. Come on, let's have some shout outs. We want any profanities. Let's keep it nice and family friendly, because if you type a message in, I can tick it on the screen and we can put that up on the screen there like that. So let's see who's out there. Tell us you can hear us, because we've had all sorts of tech issues. I'll tell you about those later on. Believe it or not, my headphones seem to have packed up, so let me just press this button here and see if we can get those working before we go much further. Let's have a look. Yeah. Okay, let's just see if that's working now. Bear with me a second. I'm going to come across over to these other headphones in a second. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Well, they're not working, but not to worry. We're going to get rid of that because I know you can hear me. And I can hear you. I can hear what's going on here. So let's cut across here. And here I am on our cardboard base camp. It's pitch black down here. You can't see anything behind us. Virgin orbit is above my head there, and if I zoom in just a little bit closer you can see. So that is me. I'm Nick Causton. I'm just a dad, and I am, yes I am, absolutely on this cardboard base camp that we've built with big miles we've made from cardboard boxes here at Newquay Airport, and I am in the shadow of our Starship 22. I flew down here, as you can see, down the coast. I flew down here down the coast with our Starship there, so we are absolutely smashing it. Can we get some messages in the boxes? Let me have a quick look. I had a bit of a problem with 3 Daft Monkeys official are in the house. Tim and a scene for St Day in Cornwall, XXXXX. I think that's Celtic for loving it. Yeah, that's good to know. Do me a favour, we've had all sorts of problems with the audio. It has been dropping in and out, so if it goes a bit bonkers, let me show you where I am. I'm not really on a cardboard Mars base camp, just in case you really fell for it and really thought that that was the case. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to press a button there, and let's see if that's, yep, we are going live. And if you look on the screen now, you can see we've got a cardboard moon. We've got a cardboard moon outside, because if I go outside, you're going to see, da, 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 dun, dun, dun. Can you turn the camera around on me, please, Lox? We are live. Everything you do on the camera there is live at the moment. I'm going to click this microphone on Lox. Lox can talk to us as well. Lox, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great at the moment.
So we are here just to prove we've got our camper van here. Can you keep an eye out for vehicles? No, we don't want to get running over. We're right backstage. If you can just show everybody the buses. These are all the public buses that have been coming in. We've had about 1,000 people. 3,000 people come in here. We're going to come and say hello, Arlo? You're going to come and say hello on camera? Let's come over here. Let's get in the light here. Arlo, who else have we got? Well, these are our helpers. These are some young people from Cornwall who've come to help us. What's your name, young man? Let's just get this microphone here. What's your name?
I'm Arlo.
Arlo, and where have you come from today?
I've come from St Day, which is a town near Redruth.
Redruth, okay. I've just had a message on the screen from Three Monkeys. Is that anything to do with you, is it?
Yes.
Three Monkeys, was it, or three?
Three Daft Monkeys. It's mainly the account that my dad uses because it's our band.
Oh, it's a band you've got. Fantastic. What's your name, young man?
Tristan.
Tristan. Who's that lady over there? Let's get her in here. Come over here, young lady.
Hello.
And what's your name?
Hi, I'm Kath.
Catherine, so you brought these guys down for to help us out, yeah? I'm just going to clip that on there. Do me a favour, I'm just going to go and check the audio. Just keep on the camera. I'm going to go and get a light, brighten it up a little bit. Could you just sort of talk to everybody about what you guys are up to? Yeah, maybe you could hold that microphone, and don't hold it too close to their mics, but as their mouths, but you can have a little chat and talk to the guys. I'll go and get some lighting. Do you get some light going onto those guys now? There we go. There we go. That's a little bit better, isn't it? So talk to them.
And all I know is that it's like very, very...
All of us.
I think it is because it is pitch black.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that the plane's going to be lit up, and they've got a stream.
So yeah, apparently they are. The reason that they're launching it horizontally is because it saves a certain amount of fuel, which I should know more about, but.
Yeah,
we're all very excited.
Because fuel is like very, very expensive, and they need quite a lot of it to launch it up into the air, but they're launching it horizontally, so then it wastes less fuel.
And the fuel's got a very special name, hasn't it, Arlo?
It's
liquid oxygen or LOX?
Bingo.
So LOX is here. It's named after you, LOX.
Yeah, we're all very excited for the rocket launch. We're about to go down. It's sort of like I'm not entirely sure what time it is right now. Is it sort of like?
It's about 10:02.
Okay, so it's 10:02. We're very close to the launch. We're all getting very excited. We've got the green screen set up, and we're just hanging out in the caravan. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. It's gonna be amazing.
It's like mega exciting for me because I've never seen a rocket launch in like real life, just live, and it's just really exciting for me. And I'm like bouncing off the wall.
I think we had a little bit of a hiccup with the microphone there. We're going to go back inside now and get on the Virgin Restream. So
Right.
Thanks for that. Sorry about that. We had a little bit of a technical hitch with the audio. It's technical till tonight. Let's go back to our stage. Let's get the Virgin show on the screen behind me and zoom in and bring the audio up on that. Where are we? Here we go. And let's just see what
and switches to autonomous mode. When we're getting very close to the drop point, our pilots will pull into the aircraft pull-up maneuver. You'll hear on the MCC audio the words release, release, release that will come from the pilots. The rocket will drop on its way to space, and Cosmic Girl will come home to Cornwall. Special shout out to our airspace support in this region of the world from the UK and from Eurocontrol, as well as authorities in Ireland, Portugal, Spain, and France. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
And let's have a little bit of a chat about who's on board Cosmic Girl today. We're so lucky to have 2 pilots and 2 launch engineers who are incredibly talented and well-versed in Cosmic Girl and this incredible launch that we're about to see. We'll talk about our 2 pilots first. We have Matthew Stannard, or Stanny, as he likes to be known, our RAF test pilot who's on secondment from the RAF over to Virgin Orbit. Joining him in the cockpit is Chief Pilot Eric Bippert. The 2 of them are an incredible team, and we know they're going to do an amazing job for us tonight up above the Atlantic Ocean. Joining them in the back, we have 2 launch engineers. We have Dale Alexander, and we also have Bryce Schaefer. These 4 have been amazing. We've really got to know them here in Cornwall. They've been doing test flights around the county, as well as getting into the schools and really inspiring the local school children about maybe becoming a pilot or a launch engineer or working with rockets. So the whole community is definitely cheering them on down here in Cornwall tonight. I think we'll leave it there for a moment and we'll watch Cosmic Girl as she hopefully starts to make her way around the airfield.
So here we are in Cornwall, and Cosmic Girl is about to taxi down the runway. Let's have some messages in the box. Let's see who we've got here. We've got sound. Sorry guys, I'm just checking out if that audio is their audio or ours. So that's the audio coming from their YouTube, so apologies for that. So this is live from Cornwall, live and direct from Cornwall Spaceports, Virgin Orbit, Cosmic Girl, and I'm sorry, but if I was going to choose a song, it would be Cosmic Girl by Jamiroquai, not the Rolling Stones Start Me Up. But hey, this is the start, it's a kickstart of the UK space industry centred on Cornwall, which is absolutely brilliant. So brilliant. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. That's their noise at their end. I don't know if that's the sound of a jumbo jet fueling. You can see Launcher 1 underneath the wing just in front there. That's a launcher with 9 satellites in. That's going to go out over the sea. And I'm delighted to say that we've got a guest actually who's joined us. Homer Hickam is joining from wherever. I mean, he's somewhere different every time I see him. So hello Homer, how are you?
Hello Nick, I hope you hear me all right. I'm
We can
still
hear you
in
perfectly.
Huntsville, Alabama today.
We can hear you perfectly.
Pretty exciting. It looks like the aircraft is about to take off.
Feel free to talk, Homer. You can talk over the screen.
Absolutely. Pretty exciting. I've been watching the fueling process of Rocket 1, and I see the aircraft is moving. So should be up and over the ocean pretty soon.
Oops. Looks like their YouTube's frozen, or has ours. Let me just check my internet connection. We've got a satellite, a Starlink on the roof of our truck. Let me just check our internet connection. Yeah, our Starlink's still working. We've got... Let's see what speed we've got. Yeah, we've got full speed internet here, so something has gone wrong with their feed, which is unfortunate. Oh no! Let's have a look. Oh, we've... That's strange. It's not. It was never going to be the most exciting launch. What's happened here?
Right, I'm watching it on another feed, and the aircraft
is going through,
is just moving down the runway, And you're right, we're not going to see very much until we start seeing the onboard cameras.
It's funny because I can see it on one screen here, but we seem to have lost it through the in-house connection. That's absolutely typical, isn't it? Let's see if I can get it over here. Yeah, we've got it over here. Let's get through that.
Yeah, Nick, I just sent you the
We've got it.
YouTube connection that I'm watching. There you go. That's it. Well, I know it's a big day for you.
Carry on.
To see this launch, and from British soil, and like I said, it'll get more exciting, I think, when we see the onboard cameras of the rocket actually being launched. It
is fascinating how interesting a rocket, or a plane taking off can be, really, isn't it? Well, I wanted to sound too cynical. So I guess they've got some fairly heavy-duty night vision cameras on that.
Right. Yeah, as far as I can tell, watching it on another screen, the aircraft is now at the end of the runway and starting to rotate toward takeoff. So it might be an interesting view to see it as it takes off.
Our Cosmic Girl is taxiing. Like I had said earlier, we had cleared all of our launch commit criteria and cleared for takeoff. Our ground crew had cleared the area, and our pilots are ready for a takeoff. So we're just positioning ourselves for wheels up, still planned in the next minute or two.
This is so exciting, Homer, isn't it? It's not like a countdown and a rocket taking off.
Well, it may not be exciting for us observers, but it's exciting for everybody in their mission control. It's exciting for everybody in the aircraft.
Our last mission was
so we can just kind of imagine ourselves inside that aircraft as it takes off with a pretty big, heavy
I heard it outside.
thing underneath.
As I mentioned earlier, in the south part of Ireland may have noticed in the last couple of weeks, Cosmic Girl making some practice runs out there off the coast.
Well, the ground actually shook, I must admit. It's with a slight delay. The video. I am.
And there it goes. Wheels up.
As usual, actually, there was a delay on YouTube. YouTube has about a 20 to 50 second delay. So I heard it go past here, and then it went live on the video. And we've got the Rolling Stones blaring out here. Very Richard Branson, very Virgin. So it's fun actually in the press conference, Homer, because they were talking about the fact that when this happens in America, about 2 people turn up in the Mojave Desert to watch this, and it's not necessarily considered to be the most exciting thing to go and spectate. I mean, have you ever been to see one of these launches in the US?
Up until the disconnects a few minutes ago, the data or the data that you had seen coming through any of our graphical user interfaces was coming through a umbilical connection to our ground support equipment. One of the things that makes us special as a launch provider is our agility, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But the bulk of our ground support equipment is mobile, meaning that some of the new aircraft we have purchased here at Virgin Orbit, being cargo aircraft, we can load a couple of rockets plus all of the ground support equipment, which includes our rocket fuel and our liquid oxygen conditioning ground support equipment.
Pretty riveting, huh?
Transported to whichever runway can support a 747. So we unload the rockets, we mate the payloads to the front, usually through a special clean room that has been set up. We also have a mobile clean room that we can bring to different launch sites. Then it's attached to the rocket, and that can be done either inside a clean room or while it's still attached under the wing of Cosmic Girl. And we've done that a couple of times on recent missions, where we essentially back up the payload conditioning trailer to Cosmic Girl while she is attached under wing with launcher one, and then done the connection there. So the idea is that we can...
Hi Homer, I thought we lost you for a moment there.
You did lose me for a moment.
Oh, I can't hear you. Why can't I hear you? Hang on a second.
Back.
Oh, what's happened? Sorry, Homer, carry on.
Yeah, so Nick, where are you? Are you sitting outside?
Oh dear, hold on 1 second. Just stay 1 second. We seem to have... Go again, Homer, sorry.
Right, I was just asking you, Nick, where you are. Are you outside or
I'm actually...
your...
I could show you, actually. I've got a... Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You can. Sorry, I mean, I know it's not the... It's a fairly simple question sometimes. Basically, yeah, I'm outside. I'll show you where I am, actually. I've got this wireless camera thing here. Which... It's just got a little GoPro on the bottom and a battery pack and a screen. So I'll take this out the door. So if I cut to this camera now, I'll show you what's going on. So here I am. The reality of the situation, if anybody's just joined us, is that I'm actually in the back of a camper van. If anybody wonders why this is complicated, that's what I'm looking at. So these are all my Zoom screens. That's the video coming in. There's some mixers there. So it is quite complicated, and yeah, whatever. I mean, you could do all that on Zoom now. And as you said, Homer, I'm in the camper van, in our, I like to call it a camper van, outside here. So there's our camper, the green screen studio in the back. We've got our Starlink dish up there on the top. I always love to see the moon at a time like this. The moon is just over there. That little dot there is the moon. We've got a full moon tonight, actually. So yeah, we are backstage here. This is all the buses that have been bringing people in. We've got a really good spot. We couldn't get onto the main side. People that had to, about 3,000 people here tonight. That's my generator. I should actually keep an eye on the fuel, actually. Got 2 hours up.
Frequency links, so they're essentially a type of Wi-Fi. Our aircraft.
Homer, what do you think of our little setup here?
I'm very impressed, Nick. You're, I don't know if the audience over there is familiar with the YouTube fellow called the Everyday Astronaut over here.
Yes.
Who's pretty well known over here, has lots of viewers. I think you're the UK version, and I'm very, very impressed by your setup there. So congratulations on everything you've done. I know it's a lot of really, really hard work to make all this come together. But I'm enjoying spending this time with you and watching you do your thing.
I think I've always felt that I owe you a pint, Homer, I must admit, but I think I owe you a couple now for coming online to watch a jumbo jet take off. That is dedication to the cause, isn't it? Really, it really is. I don't know if anybody out there has got any questions for Homer. Let me just have a quick look, 'cause I know Homer's a busy man. He drops in and out. He's juggles so many commitments like this. He's the hardest working man in the Rocket Boys business. Let's have a look here. We've got Alan Rhodes is saying, yeah, it's a good feed. So Alan's there. Hello, Alan. Lovely to see you there. Got Liam Firth, the Chelsea Amy. Somebody says this is mental, which is English for we're quite enjoying this. So I think that's quite nice. Anybody got any questions for Homer Hickam? I mean, I think it's worth just dwelling on Homer and who he is and what he does, because he really is something of a legend. Homer wrote a book called Rocket Boys that my father found in the Oxfam bookshop he volunteers in. He gave it to me, said the best book he's ever read, and he said, I've emailed the author, he hasn't got back to me yet. I said, and oh, Homer, I think we might have just had an internet outage there. So if we've lost you, come back in again. I think we did have an internet flicker there. We've lost Homer. He's frozen again. I'm just going to ping him an email and ask him to log back. Oh no, is he back again?
I'm back up.
Oh, you are back. Yeah, I think with the internet's up and down. So Homer, I had a glass of Merlot one night and got onto Twitter, and within an hour I'd DM'd Homer, and he'd offered to let us tell his story to children across the country. So Rocket Boys is the book you have to read, and in fact, I think if I clear this, you'll see there's a copy of Rocket Boys just up there on the wall at Homer, just up in the right, just above a blurry picture of Cyan. On our set here, this is our cardboard Mars base camp. You're underneath Cosmic Girl.
Right.
So
Cosmic Girl right now is winging out over the Irish Sea, I believe.
Let's have a look. Let's go back to them.
President of Business Development from Virgin Orbit. Hi.
Hey, Mel. Yeah, I mean, what an exciting day. And I'm really pleased to introduce the Secretary of State, Grant Shapps, who's in charge of the Department for Business, Energy, and Industrial Strategy, leading an economy-wide transformation by backing enterprise and unleashing the UK as a science superpower through innovation. Grant, thank you so much for being with us here on this historic day. You've really been instrumental in helping bring launch to the UK and supporting the industry. You probably know this is actually the first, of course, historic launch from UK soil and also historic launch from Western Europe. Tell our viewers, what does this day mean for the UK?
Yeah, no, we're very excited about the launch. I mean, this is something which we've been working on for more than a decade now. As you rightly say, the UK tonight will become the first country to launch satellites from European soil, and that's been a long process involving a lot of folks, not just at Virgin, but throughout our space sector, which employs about 47,000 people. It's much bigger than most people realise. And the other thing people possibly don't know is that more satellites are produced in the UK anywhere outside of California. So we're big into producing particularly the smaller and the nano satellites, the type that Virgin Orbit put into space. And so to see these 9 go up finally this evening, it's extremely exciting, and we're delighted to have backed this launch. And Cornwall could be one of 7 spaceports springing up throughout the UK. So we were excited to see this one and others developing.
And you mentioned some of the industry here in the UK. So how do you think this and future launches will really help propel the space ecosystem in the UK, including jobs?
As I'm sure you figured there, Homer, this is one of our politicians from the Department of Business, Enterprise, Industries and Strategic something or others, Industrial Strategy. Obviously they're a major funder in this, because Cornwall is a very deprived part of the country. Obviously there's a lot of tourism, but a lot of deprivation as the mines close down. So this is very important to the economy here, these jobs and the boost to the area. A lot of people are moving down here now from across the country. It's a beautiful place to live. Price of property's gone through the roof. There's a lot of tension between people who own homes down here, second homes, the local community. So it's a very interesting word to watch, really, but a very interesting part of the world. Have you ever been to Cornwall, Homer?
I have not. I would love to go there. I know that there are or were tin and copper mines there in profusion for many, many years. And I also know that that's a beautiful part of England. Down in the southwest corner, I believe, and of course, the beautiful, beautiful coastline. I've been a scuba instructor for over 50 years, so I know there are a lot of shipwrecks around there. It would probably be fun to dive on, although I think I may be too old to do that now. But I would love to go back, or I would love to go to Cornwall someday and see it in reality. I would love, of course, for the space business. The problem, of course, with the UK. Being a location to launch rockets is its simply geographic location. If the best way to launch a rocket into orbit is to go from west to east, because as in Cape Canaveral and other places, because you can use the Earth's rotation to add a little bit to the velocity of your rocket. But if you launch out of England, west to east, the people in France and Germany probably would not like that too much, because that's where your stages are going to fall. So that's why we're seeing today taking off from Cornwall is great. Immediately you're out over the ocean. And I think it's going to be launching southerly, and but in a slightly westward direction as well. So this is a really good way to launch these small satellites in an orbit almost north and south. That way they end up covering the entire world, as versus launching toward the equator and staying along the equator. You don't see that much of the world. So really, I think Virgin Orbit has got a great idea here. It is a good location. And as you say, it is a place where jobs are needed. And so I'm sure glad to see this happening today.
No, it's very exciting for everybody here, and it's interesting because I think a lot of people forget that quite a lot of debris does fall from the sky when these rockets go. I presume all of Launcher 1 is essentially on its way to Davy Jones's locker essentially after this, is it?
Well, that's that's true. It is SpaceX is the only one right now that really recovers. It's at least the first stage of its rockets, but for a variety of different reasons, it doesn't really make. It's not really necessary in terms of cost to recover the stages of Rocket 1, because they are in a way recovering the first stage in that 747 will come back and land there at Cornwall. So in a way, this is a recoverable rocket.
Fair enough. The one thing that somebody did say, obviously, the 747 does come back, so that's got to be quite good as well, hasn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Oh gosh, these politicians, they must have sponsored quite a bit to keep talking. What's he talking about now?
That is absolutely true, and just
I know I'm always true. I'm always right.
Signed a deal essentially with the European Space Agency. We put in, I think the figure springs to mind is over £1.8 billion. We secured 3 more British astronauts. So we're working in the international sphere, so in Europe, but also with NASA and a whole variety, and have historically done so. Kind of interestingly, though, you ask a really interesting question, because the UK is the only country in the world to more than 50 years ago have designed, built and launched its own rockets and satellites successfully into space, and then scrapped the entire launch program. This was back in 1971. It's a long time ago now. It was kind of a surprising thing to do, given many other countries or other locations continued or have got into the space race since then. I think the big thing that's changed is the commercialization of space ever since, though, because I was just looking back. You only have to go back to 2019, and there are only about 500 satellites launched globally. But in 2021, so just a couple of years later, there were 1,900 satellites launched. So you can see this is a massively growing market, particularly these smaller nano satellites, some of which are no bigger than a shoebox, that the United Kingdom really has great speciality in, as well as some of the bigger ones, which we've always heard. So there's a big market, and we want to work globally. We want to do that, but we...
Just having a flick through Twitter here, Homer, and that's a very powerful image. That is literally one of the world's first steam locomotions, the Puffing Billy, that was designed by a chap called Richard Trevithick from Cornwall, born and bred in Redruth, just down the coast here. Obviously, the steam industry, the steam train business, locomotives grew out of the mining industry that you'll know very well. But what was fascinating, he went to Shropshire, my hometown, to get the boiler built, because that's where the other part of the Industrial Revolution kicked off as well, there in Ironbridge. So it's very historical, very special evening tonight when you think that a mining engineer built a steam train, put some wheels on it, and here we are today with jumbo jets and rockets and one step closer to Mars and wherever it is we go, really. Fascinating, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and it does make you wonder what the old miners in Cornwall would have thought to see that 747 take off and that rocket underneath its wing. Actually, I think because the Industrial Revolution really started in England, I don't think we always think, oh, they'd be so amazed or scared or so. I don't think so at all. I think they would be intrigued. What kind of steam engine are they using on that 747? And in many, many ways, there are a lot of similarities between the steam engine or anything that uses expanding gases for propulsion.
Oh, we lost you again. That is so annoying. But Homer knows what to do. He'll be back. He'll be back. Don't you worry. He'll be back. Homer Hickam, talk to us. I'm going to pull up a map actually of the route. I hope we can get him back. I've also got an internet connection because the live stream is still going. Let's see what Grant Shapps has got to say for himself. Let's get this image in first. So Homer will be back in a moment, I'm sure. The internet's up and down, I'm afraid.
That's right. I'm back again, though.
Are you aware that you're aware when you get dropped out? Are you?
Not well. Yes, I can see it after a few minutes or a few seconds.
Yeah.
And I just.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Homer. I'm actually, believe it or not, I've got a can of petrol here. Proper gasoline, as you call it, and I'm going to go and pop some in my generator. What I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to pop up on the screen here the map of the route, and maybe you could just sort of talk through the significance of this route and what might sort of what significance of that is, and how and why, where, what might happen along those bits. And I'm going to put some petrol in my generator.
It's always a good idea to put gasoline in your generator. I'm amazed that you didn't already have it topped off.
It had 10 hours earlier when I last looked. I think I must have the heating on by mistake. Bear with me. Carry on.
All right. Well, we can see it where it says Spaceport Cornwall. This is where the 747 took off with Rocket 1 under its wing. The Cosmic Girl, as the 747 is called, for reasons that I don't have a clue. Clearly, they want to get far away as they can in order to get away from all the shipping that is around Cornwall and that area. And so they moved out over the Irish Sea. They're moving toward, and may already be there. It wouldn't take very long to get there, off the southern tip of Ireland, where I have been, by the way. The southern tip of Ireland, there's actually the Gulf Stream sweeps by there. It's a beautiful area, even got palm trees in that part of Ireland. So I have dived off the southern tip of Ireland. Ireland's very pretty. Anyway, they're going to get out far enough so that the drop-off point will be outside the shipping lanes. And they've, to my knowledge, they have warned off all the air traffic. They've gotten permission from Portugal and Spain to make sure that all the air lanes are cleared and the sea lanes are cleared as Rocket 1 is dropped, and it's going in a south easterly route, and some of the stages will be dropped in that area. So they've got to make, and I'm sure they've already made sure that all the sea lanes and all the air lanes are clear. I read where they had to get permission from the Spanish government and the Portuguese government in order to make this launch today. So as far as we know, they're out there right now going orbiting and working toward getting ready to get to the drop point and making the drop. And hopefully we'll see that live or shortly afterwards.
So basically
so you've got petrol in your tank now, right?
And a bit on my hands as well. You won't be surprised to know.
That always happens.
So it doesn't look like there's an awful lot going on here. We've got a bit of standard holding view imagery now. We should probably go back. We've probably got some chill out music. That's always a good sign, isn't it? That we've got a bit of a wait. I might just go back to the schedule actually and see what they. Let's have a look. Yep. So. Launcher 1 released, so we're looking at about 35 minutes. So T plus 45 minutes is what they were saying for. Well, actually, there's a 1 hour window. Although maybe that's okay. So we got off on time. So it should actually be deploying probably in about 35 minutes. I'm not going to expect you to hang around that long, Homer, because I know there's only so much of a jumbo jet in the dark that you can watch, I think, isn't there?
Well, I appreciate that, Nick. This is the time I usually feed my cat, so you may have noticed he was up on the table.
I did.
Already, trying to get my attention. Wyatt, my Siamese cat. But we love hanging out with you, and we love what you're doing there. And I do hope that that your popularity will keep increasing, and that you will be up to everyday astronaut viewer levels fairly soon. Certainly with your enthusiasm and clearly your new technical ability to put all this together really is pretty amazing, Nick. So I'm very impressed with that. I'm aware that you were recently voted one of the London's top 100 people, and that's well deserved for sure.
Well,
I don't know who the other 99 was, but I'm sure that you were the most deserving.
Well, there's a team in STEAM, and nothing without you, Homer. It's all about the collaboration. The Co in STEAM stands for collaboration, and I think if more people work together, if more people were as generous as you with their stories and what they can do, and time is everything. Time is precious, and I know you're a very busy man, but I'm very grateful to you for your story. Thank you very much for being here on this historic moment. I'm sorry it wasn't much more exciting. I can't believe this.
Again, Nick, I love your enthusiasm. I love your sense of humor. I really think a lot about you going to these schools and some of the places in the UK that are in a poor situation economically. I think that's wonderful. I am sure that thousands of young people have been impressed by your demonstrations, and they will have a lot better life because of what you have done. So one of these days, perhaps I can get over to the UK. I'd love it to go around with you for a day or so and talk to some of the students and just watch what you do. So God bless. And I'll be signing off here from Huntsville, Alabama in the good old US of A. And we are certainly hoping that all will go well with today's launch.
Thank you very much, Homer, and thank you so much. And when you come to the UK, we'll spend more than a day together. I know that sounds like a threat, not a promise, but I need to take you to the two corners of the Industrial Revolution. We'll go to Cornwall. I know some very special places. I'd love to take you here, and I'd also take you up to Shropshire, hopefully to meet my father and to show you a real English castle and have a real pint of warm beer. I used to have a girlfriend up there whose family owned a brewery. I'm sure I can get a cheap pint for us. Thank you so much, Homer Hickam. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. Cheers now. You take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, you might have heard that Cornwall was unsuccessful in pitching for the UK City or County of Culture, which is obviously a real shame. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world, because what we're trying to do with STEAMco, with our grassroots Ignite 22 Festival of Creativity, is to co-create events across the whole of the country. We were in Shropshire the other day for hashtag Shropshire 22, and this week we're down here in Cornwall for hashtag Cornwall 22. We want to help these communities, we want to inspire the children, we want to connect the parents, the community with their schools, and inspire their children to aim not just high but higher than high, powered by their creativity, powered by community. Cornwall was the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution in parallel with Shropshire, when Richard Trevithick went to Ironbridge because only those Shropshire lads and lasses could build a boiler strong enough for him. And this week we launched the Our Million 22 campaign because I want to raise £1 million to inspire 1 million kids, powered by their creativity and community. And I'm delighted to say that an American aerospace enthusiast has promised us $50,000 in our match fund to get to the million. So for every £1 you'll give, he'll give £1 or $1. And with the money, we want to put up to 22 of our pop-up Creativity Day drop trucks on the road, with the first 2 in Shropshire and Cornwall. So please support us. We had a fantastic day with the community today just up the road in St Izzy. We did a live streamed assembly as if on a cardboard Mars base camp in the playing fields in the shadow of one of Elon Musk's starships. We ran creative activities. The children made rockets, they did cardboard modelling, they did graphic design, and then at the end of the day the whole community came into the playing fields and we launched the dynamite rocket. That's what we're talking about, inspiring our kids and connecting our communities. Creativity is Great Britain, and we need to come together for our children, for our communities and our country to show what we can achieve. Yes indeed, here we are on a cardboard Mars base camp under Cosmic One with a starship alongside. Starship, what's the significance of our starship, I hear you cry? Well, let me tell you what the significance of this starship is. So Richard Branson might pick an old rock and roll tune. He's a rocket and roll granddad. I'm a disco dad, and there's only one song for me: when a plane takes off with a rocket underneath it, and that plane's called Cosmic Girl. Enjoy this trip. At SpacePort Cornwall, I've got a coffee, and I just bumped into this lady here. And well, it's in there, they're £3 each. I've had to pay my TV licence because this lady, who do you work for?
I work for BBC Spotlight.
BBC Spotlight, and I didn't recognise it because she had her glasses on a minute ago. I've just blown your cover there. And you were the lady who told me that you wish you had lessons like we had as just that day, didn't you?
Oh, practical lessons, things where you're really hands-on and you're getting to grips with things. That's the way to learn, isn't it?
Absolutely, inspire engagement. So what are you here for then? I'm here for the coffee.
I'm here for the big press conference at SpacePort Cornwall, launching tomorrow night.
Really?
First satellite from UK soil. Brilliant. Really
sounds like for the first time in my life I might be in the right place at the right time.
I'll
see you in the mosh pit. What a small world.
That looks brilliant. Wish I'd had lessons like that. Did you have lessons like that, Dave?
Oh, I didn't.
Great fun.
Yeah. Thank you, Vic. And for one school in Cornwall, it really is rocket science.
And that's what we're doing. We're sowing that seed. As I say, we're igniting a creativity revolution across the country.
Now, they were aiming high and heading to space at St Just Primary School in Land's End today. Children were getting creative with cardboard to build a Mars landscape and rockets, hoping for a real-life launch this afternoon.
You know the phrase, it's not rocket science? Well, at this Cornish primary school, this is rocket science.
You know, America, where do the rockets take off? Cape Kennedy. Where do they take off in England? Cape Cornwall.
Today's mission at St Just Primary was less about thermodynamics and more about where to apply the sellotape to the paper fuselages.
Putting the paper in was probably one of the harder parts because you had to make it squish in.
And how far do you think it's going to go?
Pretty high, but this bit is quite wonky, so it might go off to one side.
In mission control, aka the computer room, year 3 were learning how to code.
It was fun, but at the start it was a bit hard.
Unfortunately, as so often happens with dynamic flight, there was a hitch with the proper dynamite rocket that was due to lift off.
I hadn't realised there's an airport just down the road until we did the risk assessments, and they weren't able to give us a flight window. But the kids were just as happy rolling pieces of paper like this, a bit of masking tape, a bit of plumber's pipe, and they made rockets. You heard the buzz, you heard the excitement, you saw the looks on those faces of those parents. They want to come back and do this. And that's what we're doing. We're sowing that seed. As I say, we're igniting a creativity revolution across the country.
You know, the kids have had a pretty miserable time during lockdown. There's a big push on getting standards higher. But what we also want to do, and what education's also about, is kids having fun.
John Henderson, BBC Spotlight, St Just.
That looks brilliant. Wish I'd had lessons like that. Did you have lessons like that, Dave? Great fun.
Yeah. Thank you, Victoria. And the weather was perfect for it, wasn't it?
I always forget that last little bit. You know, I'm going to do that again. That was very special. That's a super little bit, that is. That's St Just Primary School down there in Land's End, where we launched our appeal last year. I love this bit at the end.
Thank you, Victoria. And the weather was perfect for it, wasn't it?
All those children designed Isle of Art logos, because art is whatever you do that you love doing that might make you some money, make some friends, make the world a better place. Cooking, coding, cardboard, dance design, DJing, fashion, football, robots or rockets. And the art of rockets is obviously what we're celebrating tonight. Now, I'm delighted to say, actually, that we have actually got a live link to our, where are we? I can't get them up. Why can't I get them up on the screen? Let's get rid of that. Let's cut across. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me out there?
Yes. Yep.
Brilliant. So what's going on? Have you got any lights? You should have taken a light with you. We can't see you. Get some lights. That's it. Turn around. So where are you? What's going on? Brilliant. Brilliant. What's going on? What can you see? Tell us what you've got going on there.
What's been going on, guys? Oh, well, we just seen the plane take off and it was absolutely amazing. Yeah. It's so busy at the moment. Yeah, it's really busy.
You saw it actually go off, did you?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It's funny because we were watching it on YouTube.
We sent you the clip, Nick. Yeah.
Oh right, I'll grab that. We were watching it on YouTube here, and the rocket went past, and then we saw it take off on YouTube, and YouTube has like a 45-second delay. It's quite funny.
No way.
Yeah, really nuts, really nuts. Let me see if I can get you up on the screen. Why can't I get? Hold on, I've got. Let me have a look. I want to get you up on the screen. Hold on. Is that the audio at that end? Is it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, they're just announcing something.
Cool. Hang on.
Are nominal. The one thing that we are watching, keeping a close eye on, is our payload fairing temperature. During the climb, the aircraft right now is at.
I wonder if this is on their YouTube feed.
Nominal. And during the climb, we were moving through clouds and a storm cell. The one thing we like to do during our captive carry is actually do a little fin wiggle to make sure that if there is any icing that occurs on the rocket during captive carry, we're able to break that away. We detected no icing. Fuels are nominal. The one thing that we are watching, but we did that little execution anyway, or that all worked nominal. We are tracking nominally. I keep saying nominal, which is a good thing. We are tracking nominally on our flight path out towards the racetrack right now.
Okay.
Wicked. So you sent some videos through, did you? Let me have a look. Oh, I've got it. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Got it?
Where did you send them? On WhatsApp or how did you send them?
I think I sent it on a text to your email.
Oh, I've got them. Yeah. Hang on, let me download that then. So which one was the actual takeoff? The first one?
Yes.
Okay. The video, the actual YouTube video that they did. I mean, I think what we're doing is pretty basic, but their live stream was pretty rubbish. I thought, to be quite honest.
Oh no. Their live stream wasn't great. The Virgin Orbit one.
So just an update from Peter Banner. Thank you very much. Yeah, if anybody wants to pop a message in, any questions? Somebody said any update on when this is happening. So somebody's wondering when the launch is happening. You've missed it, mate. Sorry. I'm going to. Can you give us a look at that rocket? Oh, is there many in there?
Yeah, there was just a huge conga line that came out. Must have been, I don't know, 150 people.
Oh, that's the spirit. Because I thought it's a bunch of. Well, I should be careful what I say, but I thought it's a bunch of rocket nerds, to be honest. So that's good to know. I'm going to fund your video. Hang on a second. So Lox, what went through your mind? I mean, did it feel just like a jumbo jet taking off, or did it feel a little bit different? I mean, was it worth coming out for? I mean, you can go and see rockets anytime, surely.
Yeah, it was coming out for. It was a total experience. Being here, very late, and seeing everyone gather. It's just a magic experience, really.
Feels like we're making history, Nick.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys are Cornish. This is history. There's no doubt about it. It's part of Cornwall's history. It's part of the country's history. And I think that's a pretty cool thing, actually. Oh, I see. I've got a video of you in the silent disco. That's all very good. Okay. The one I really want.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if I can find the video of... Oh, here's the takeoff video. Hold on, let's get this takeoff video going. Okay, I'm downloading that now.
How are you? Live as well as Steamco, yeah. We'll sign off for a minute, Nick, and just do a little video with Cornwall live, and then we'll see you in a bit.
Brilliant. Okay, see you now. Bye-bye.
No worries.
Kath and her kids there live in the mosh pit. Let's put the main feed back on. Let's put that feed there on that one. And let's cut to that and see what's going on. See if they've got anything to say. So that's what's going on here in the field. I've actually got some footage coming up in a moment of the launch. Let me find that. Where did that go? Yeah, we've got the launch incoming launch video. Well, it's not the launch, it's the liftoff. And it's got a silent disco video as well. Let's get that up. I don't know if you saw what we've got going on here, but I'll gladly show you my setup in a moment, because a lot of people think, what's this? Yeah, Zoom's never this hard. Well, I'm not using Zoom. We're trying to do something a little bit different, because let's face it, Zoom doesn't let you pretend that you are high in the sky, high above Cornwall.
Hi everyone, welcome back.
Oh, we're coming back.
A very special guest with us, Colonel Davis.
Well, he's not as special as
who is
our
the
guest.
Director of the Office of Space Launch at the NRO. And Colonel Davis is joining us here today on behalf of one of the payloads that is flying with the launch today. And so we're really excited to have you. Thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for the opportunity. It's absolutely great to be here and play a small role in this truly historic launch.
So when you and your colleagues heard about, at the NRO, first heard about the possibility of launching out of the UK, what did you think?
Yeah, it was absolute excitement. You know, since the very existence of the NRO started over 60 years ago, we've really taken great pride in, you know, how innovative, how we like to advance the state of the art and the art of the possibility when it comes to operating in space. was just really another one of those opportunities to do something brand new, to do something exciting, and that's all really truly in our DNA.
And so, of course, I mean, there are other launch sites, historic launch sites in the USA, like Cape Canaveral, Vandenberg. What do you see as the value of having additional launch sites, in particular out of the United States?
Yeah, anytime that we can go to any different launch site, any different launch capability, that adds diversity to the portfolio of launch solutions that we as the NRO launch providers are able to give our customer set. That enables them to be able to not hinder what they're doing with their technologies, and really opens up the aperture for more advancement and more ability to do what we need to do in space.
And so, do you see then there being potential advantage or value to geographical spread, particularly when you think about launching internationally?
Oh, no doubt. And that's just, again, the diversity that we're talking about. And anytime that we're not committed to any one or two launch sites, that just it enables us to do different things, to do better things from wherever we need to do.
Absolutely. And yeah, we agree. We think there's definitely different opportunities to provide access to different orbits and mission capabilities internationally. So moving to another topic, there's that phrase responsive launch, responsive space, and you know, it's a pretty exciting term in the national security world in particular. What do those terms mean to you, and you know, how is that important to your mission?
Yeah, responsive launch from my perspective is really being able to be responsive to my satellite customers' needs, to be able to deliver a launch solution when they need it, where they need it, how they need it, unconstrained. So having vertical launch, having horizontal launch, all of those things, you know, add additional toolbox, adds to my toolkit that I can take to my customer set.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, launching on demand potentially would be a whole nother benefit within a 24-hour period or so, which is something Virgin Orbit is trying to accomplish. So another question would be, a lot of what you and your NRO colleagues have talked about when discussing this mission in particular is the value of the partnership. I think the international partnership in particular with the UK RAF. With all that's going on in the world and in space right now, both in the areas of conflict and in times of peace, what do you see as the start of international partnerships and interoperability between the US, the UK, and potentially other partners? What are those benefits there?
Yeah, you absolutely nailed it. The agility, partnership, and interoperability were the three big things for us with this mission. You talked about partnership and interoperability there. No doubt, you know, if you look at the logo.
Great to hear them chatting there. I think we'll let me just drop this launch video in. I've just had the video sent over from Kath and the kids who are literally in the mosh pit, so to speak, in the sort of literal front row down there for the launch. So let's cut to the launch now. Hold tight. This is probably going to come in quite loud. I think it's worth noticing that a lot of people got very cold and very wet to watch that jumbo jet take off. That's pretty hardcore in anybody's book. It was as amazing as as a plane taking off. Fantastic. Now, I had a lovely moment when I turned up earlier, actually. I was walking through the crowd. Well, actually, I was not walking through the crowd. What am I talking about? Those kids are still going for it. Walking, I jumped to the first people I met. So one of the biggest problems we've had on this particular tour, I've got to be honest with you, is representation. I am, if you haven't noticed, I'm a white male. Homer's a white male. We've got white males helping me here today. We only got the invitation for this very, 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 very late. And I just had to get whoever I could have to help, and I'm very grateful for the help that I've got. But it's not to say that we do not like to be representative. It's absolutely critical that we get girls, people from all genders, from all ethnic backgrounds, everybody involved in expressing themselves creatively, whether they want to be scientists, technologists, engineers, artists, or mathematicians, steamsters, whatever. And I had a lovely moment today when I said hello to a couple of people. Check this out. Oh, it's upside down. It's upside down. Well, I have the technology, actually, believe it or not, to flip that around. I think this is probably because I had my phone upside down. So let me have a look here, and I should be able to come in here, and there we go. We have the technology. I'll show you my tech in a minute. If you want to see the tech I'm using, you can see the tech I'm using in a minute. Obviously, I'm going to have to flip that back in a minute, but let's finish playing that. Girl is going to be taking off shortly, and I thought Deliveroo would deliver me some food, and these ages are just looking after themselves. Who are you and what do you do, if you don't mind me asking? Don't give too much away.
I'm actually a professor at the University of Bath.
Fantastic.
And in electrical engineering.
Blimey, I know I don't look like I'm a bit of a disco dad. I've got a master's degree in electronic engineering from Loughborough, believe it or not. So elbow bump for the engineers. Fantastic. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm an engineer. I work with the University of Bath as well. I work on this satellite.
Fantastic. I'm so pleased the first two people I meet are engineers, not just engineers, but female engineers, not wanting to get too binary about this, of course. So what are you just here as sort of train spotters because you thought you'd like to watch it? Or?
We are here for a couple of reasons. We both have been involved in actually building one of the instruments that's going on the satellite Circe that's going up today. So we've been involved with that from the University of Bath. But we're also here because the BBC wanted to interview us.
I should think so too as well. You're a great story. Well, I don't want your dinner getting cold, so thank you so much. So you've actually helped build, dare I say, one of the satellites.
Yes,
You said instruments, you're being quite specific.
On one of the satellites that's going up, so we're very, very excited about
And they could tell me what the satellite could do, but they'd have to kill me after, so I think I'll let them go video together. Thank you so much. Brilliant. Isn't this fantastic? Wonderful, thanks a lot. Bye-bye. So we don't want to talk to you. We've got enough place for this. Absolutely super. Thanks, guys. There you go. That's life in the VIP compound backstage here, if you like. It's at Spaceport Cornwall. Had a fantastic time. Been here a couple of days. Came here for the press conference. We've actually got that on our live stream. We had a fairly random live stream Friday night, actually with Lord Martin Rees and Homer Hickam. Actually, shall I show you the kit? I keep saying that. Where's that big camera gone? Where's my big? Oh, my big camera's outside, isn't it? Let me just see if that's Is my camera still outside, or has somebody nicked it? No, the camera's still outside. Could you guys bring the camera in? Do you think? Just want to show. Looks, could you grab the camera from outside? Do you think, please? There you go. So just to prove this is live, there's Lox. He's coming out. Look, that model of the moon is bigger than him nearly. It's on the floor. It's on the floor. Time to spot the camera. You can't find it. It's over here. Over here. There he goes. So, Lox is going to bring the camera in now. So this is what we're talking about. We're backstage here at Spaceport Cornwall. And I'm in the back here. You can see me. I'm just sat in front of, obviously it looks like I'm in front of this fantastic cardboard model. So stay there a second. And yeah, so Lox has brought the camera in. Thank you very much, Lox. So how was the launch for you? We just saw the video go off. Did you enjoy that?
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Totally incredible.
Yeah, fantastic. Wicked. Okay, I'm just going to show everybody what we've got going on here. I think the rocket is due to be deployed in the next 10-15 minutes, actually, so we'll be coming back to that fairly soon. So basically, so everybody can see what we've got going on here. If anybody thinks this is like using Zoom, it isn't, because I've actually got quite a few computers here. This is my master computer. I've got a screen on the floor over there, which was full of water because we had a leak. So that's why I'm struggling. I've had to put a few more screens in. This is my vision mixing software. That's that channel. These are my video inputs. And then down here, if you're interested in this sort of stuff, and if you're watching this, you probably are a bit geeky, but those are all my audio settings. So if you're wondering why the audio is a bit complicated, that's the audio down there. These are all my different video inputs, and these are my virtual sets, and I can press buttons on this box here, and that brings different things up. So I could jump back to another camera, I can jump to the video calls, I can cut and fade. So if I press fade, it fades from one screen to another, and if I zoom in on that, and then I can press zoom and I can zoom in, and this is all done using these control boxes. This is just a gaming controller. And then 3 laptops here. That's the video feed coming from Virgin there. So I can pop that by pressing on the buttons on this box here. I can cut across and I can put that caller in the middle screen there. So that's come up at the top there because I pressed the button here to assign that to this matrix so that the Virgin screens now come up there. I can now put the Virgin screen in this box by pressing call to. That puts that on standby, and then I press that button and we get a nice seamless smooth fade. So we're doing things here that you can't do with Zoom, but it comes with a price, and that's probably 10 years off my life expectancy every time I do one of these live streams, because it is not for the faint-hearted, I must admit. Let's see if we've got anybody still watching. And I think we'll stay on for the... Peter Bonner's put a message up there saying the plane is just off Southern Island.
We're just showing on our graphical user interface. All of our levels are still nominal. We were watching, as I had mentioned earlier, we're watching that payload adapted temperature, but that is still doing totally fine for this phase of the flight. For those folks that have been watching our 3D map, which we'll bring up now, you'll notice that we did fly just south of the county of Cork in Ireland. We've taken our left-hand turn and now we're in our racetrack that I had mentioned earlier. So we'll be moving into our coal pass in just a moment. We are still on track for our previously advertised drop time. So yeah, stay with us.
So there we are. Oh, so what did he just say? I wasn't listening. That was silly of me. The drop time was what? Is anybody out there listening? What did he say the drop time was? Because I'm hoping that they've got a camera on the plane. If they haven't, it's a bit of a con really, because we've just come to see a jumbo jet take off. And even so, in the dark, it's probably going to be quite limited what we will be able to see. But yeah, so that's in fact, I've got a little video. We don't need to see a picture. Let's get a little video of. I think we've got a picture of Launcher 1 actually. Yeah, let me cut this little video for you now. So here we are. There's So of course, you remember that I put the video upside down. Well, I forgot to turn it back round, didn't I? So let's go and find that video. Where did I put that upside down? I put it upside down here. So I can't pretend I'm going to maintain eye contact all the time. I am juggling a lot of stuff, as you've just seen. So I've now got to go into here and flip that round so that now I can put that in there like that, and I can play that out. So here we are. There's Starship 22, and there is Launcher 1, a model of Launcher 1. This is a model to give everybody who's going to be coming here tomorrow night a sense of what this is all about. And let's have a quick look. So basically, obviously at the front there, you've got the satellites. I think it's 6 satellites they're launching. The payload fairing, that's a bit there that protects the satellites as the rocket is launched through the atmosphere. So that's a pretty bumpy part of the journey. Then we've got stage 2 of the rocket. So this is the bit that burns second, that takes the payload just a little bit higher with the Newton 4 second stage engine. So that's pumping out liquid oxygen, 1,500 tons of oxygen. That's a lot of air. And obviously the rocket propellant, that's kerosene, that will burn for about 6 minutes, producing 22 kilotons, 1,000 kilonewtons, 5,000 pounds of thrust to send that bit of the rocket off on its final bit of the journey. The first bit of the journey is provided by Launcher 1's stage 1, and the rocket motor is at the back end. We'll go and see that in a minute. But basically, this is a liquid oxygen tank, so that's 13,000 tons of air which is hard to believe, isn't it? That's how much it's squeezed and compressed. And at the back there is the rocket fuel, the rocket propellant, that's kerosene, 6,000 tons, actually 6,000 kilograms, what am I talking about, of kerosene gets mixed and then fired into the engine, injected into the engine here. The Newton 3 first stage engine, that will burn for 3 minutes, producing 327,000 newtons of thrust, 73,000 pounds of thrust. So that is what Launcher 1 looks like, and that's what we're going to be seeing launched tomorrow night, Monday night, from the bottom of Cosmic Girl, the jumbo jet, which is just over there at the end of the runway. You might be able to see her just there in the far distance. That is, put my finger in there, where's my finger? I don't think I can quite catch it. That there is, oh, where are we? My thumb's too thick. There is Cosmic Girl at the end of the runway. So yeah, going to be quite a sight. So there you go, that's a little look at Launcher 1. I don't know if we can get an update of where we're at with this launch. Let's go back to Virgin and their countdown.
All based in the United Kingdom. IOD-3 is expected to be the first of more than 20 Amber satellites to provide space-based maritime domain awareness data to users. Another one is CIRC, or the Coordinated Ionospheric Reconstruction CubeSat Experiment.
Sounds like he's talking through the 9 satellites, not 6 as I said in the video, 9 satellites deployed to be deployed tonight, fingers crossed. We actually had a visit today by a guy from Airbus whose job is to make satellites. He actually brought a model satellite along, and he's also been involved in the Mars rover as well, which has been fantastic.
Space Agency's navigation program and built by Open Cosmos of the United Kingdom. Dover is a small sat that was created as a pathfinder for resilient global navigation satellite systems. We're going to bring up the GUI again. Just a couple of notes from the MCC. Our launch commit criteria for terminal count has been given the all clear. The terminal count is the portion when the rocket goes into an autonomous mode. We did have some questions on the YouTube stream that I want to address. Some folks saying this is actually the second launch after Wallace and Gromit went to the moon for cheese. Thank you very much for that. And also the use of Fahrenheit versus Celsius. Typically in the aerospace world, we use imperial units over metric units. I think that's all I got for the moment. Like I said, we're moving into the cold pass and things are about to get very exciting. So please stay with us.
So it's going to get very exciting. This is where we're at the moment. The plane is out over the sea there. Let's compare this with our map. We did have a map somewhere. Where's that gone? Yeah, let's put the map in there, can we? Can we put the map on? Yeah, there's the map. Look, so that's the route that was planned. So that was the planned route. And what we just heard there was where we're actually on. So that's where we're at the moment. I guess that's live data. It's a bit like being on a Virgin plane, isn't it? Seeing where you are and how long you've got to go. Nice bit of copyright-free music. I suppose they spent all their money on the Rolling Stones. Yeah, the plane's tracking around, and let's compare that again to the launch. Okay, so it's going to come down. It's that dot on the left-hand side there that looks like it's going to be the... So it's that dot. Oops, my hand gets chopped off if I take it too far. That dot over there is where it's going to be. So let's cut back.
Launch out of the UK, but let's hear a little bit more from a familiar face, Sir Richard Branson.
Start me up. I can't think of a more perfect name for Virgin Orbit's first launch from Spaceport Cornwall than the UK's first launch and the start of an important and exciting new capability. I first heard the Rolling Stones when I was at school, and their songs have been in my head ever since. As a nervous teenager, armed with a tape recorder bigger than me, I interviewed Mick Jagger for Student magazine. And years later, we tried to sign the band, and years after that, we finally managed to bring the Stones to Virgin Records, and they helped make us the biggest independent record label in the world. I remember hearing Keith Richards kick off Start Me Up when we promoted the Stones comeback tour in 2012. A decade on, they're still going strong, and I've loved spending time with them over the years, even if Ronnie Wood beats me at poker and pool. One of the most wonderful parts of Virgin Orbit's missions has been the opportunity to bring the Virgin family together, not least by honouring a Virgin Records artist with each launch. And this should be the most thrilling one yet. Congratulations and good luck to all involved in this launch in Cornwall, the UK and worldwide. Like the song says, once we start it up, we will never stop.
Well, blimey, I thought it was a bit more showman than that. That wasn't the most exciting reading of a script. But hey, so the plane is now coming back round, and just to remind you, the plane is coming round, Cosmic Girl is coming down to that drop point there, so that little white dot that you can see over there, that's going to be the drop point, and this is where we're at compared to that. So if I flick between the two, you can see where we're at in terms of that. So there we go. That's what we're talking about. I was a bit cheeky the other day. I'm a bit cheeky. As Homer Hickam said, he likes my British humour, which is lovely. I do like rockets. I do rocket works in school all the time, and I do love it. I really enjoy it. But I think we've just got to mash it up. We've got to bring some creativity, a little bit of fun to this. I love steam trains as well, but I don't identify with many sort of train spotter types. But whatever, each to their own. I don't say that to criticise train spotters or rocket spotters. But I'm a bit of a disco dad, and I had to laugh. I really did have to laugh when Richard Branson chose Start Me Up, really. I mean, he had a great story, let's face it. I mean, he's playing pool with Ronnie Wood and poker with Ronnie Wood. I'm not sure I particularly want to, but it's a bit of name dropping there, which is obviously great. And that's Richard Branson's prerogative, fantastic. But oh, come on, I want to download this video. If you've ever downloaded WhatsApp videos, you'll know it's a real pain, because you can't just click a button that says download. You kind of have to play it and cache it, and that's what I'm doing now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just pop that video up there full screen. Oh gosh, I've got to remember how to do it. I've got to remember to do it. Press that on the, yeah, that's right. And then that's it, put that there, and I can press that there like that and flip that up. And what I can do is just get this video. Come on, it should be here soon. Come on. Oh dear me. Oh well, let's download that. So it's all go here. Really is all go here. The buses have started arriving now. There are people coming and going, left, right, and centre out here. We're having a super time watching all this. Where is that video? Let's see if it's come down yet. No, it hasn't. Goodness me. And it's not the most. Oh, time to drop ready. Oh, 1 minute 8 seconds. So 1 minute and 8 seconds they'll be ready to drop. To drop the rocket, and those satellites will spin off. So they reckon it's 1 minute and 8 seconds away. That's good to know. And my video does not want to download, does it? Why doesn't it want to download? It's so annoying. Let me try another way of getting it. Oh, looks like we're due into the drop.
Welcome back. Just a quick update from the MCC. As you can see on the screen right now, we have made it through our cold pass and we're now working through the hot pass. The counter on the left-hand side is a little bit of a misnomer because it's really drop ready time. And I also did want to mention, you probably saw a quick camera feed that we had where the screen looked black. That's actually nominal because that was a live camera feed from the camera that's actually on the rocket underneath the payload fairing. You can see now this is an aft camera view from the drop. So we have, it looks to be a successful ignition of the stage 1 engine as we make our way to space.
Well, that was a bit of an anticlimax by anybody's term of look, I think. Goodness. It's never going to be very exciting, I don't think, in the night. So, yeah.
Like I had said before, a lot happens very quickly after drop. You can see here that we're actually getting towards the end of our stage 1 burn. Everything is nominal so far. We've had our pitch up on the bottom, on the burn time that you can see on the graphical user interface. If you do have that one up, we have made it through max Q alpha, which is one of the most stressful physical moments for the rocket, very comfortably through max Q. And then also through our maximum heat, aerodynamic heat, heating. We have made it through MECO, our main engine cutoff. That is our Newton 3 engine shutdown, is reported as nominal. And if we can go back to our aft camera.
Bearing brake wire is broken.
Good evening to you, Tom Cunliffe. Lovely to see you on here. Camper van has got the heating on. We're nice and toasty. It is very cold and windy out there, but I think we've got a lot of computer stuff keeping us warm here. I don't know if you saw the craziness, but this is what we're looking at tonight. We had a couple of tech meltdowns, and so basically I had to get a few extra laptops in. So if you're in any doubt as to what we're doing here, I'm in the back of a camper van. We've got a green screen behind me which lets me pretend I'm on this Mars base camp, as you see there, with Cosmic Girl above us. In fact, we're actually way up. We've got a night vision drone there, so you can see our little base there on the edge of the runway. Very grateful to everybody for letting us stay here. But as I say, no, so basically I've got a load of tech here. So I've got a laptop there running vMix software. Got some pretty complicated audio stuff going on over here. Those are all my audio settings. Buttons to control those features. You've got the restream screens here. And then there's some PowerPoint and then some channel allocation buttons there. I've got to tell you, this is not for the faint-hearted. This is hard work. This is hard work. My goodness. I'll tell you what, we'll go outside actually and I'll show you what's going on out there. Let me get this other microphone working. 1, 2. Yeah, I'll pop that on there. And let's go and see what's going on outside. Well, you could actually watch the animation if you want to as well. So let's just see what these guys are up to here first before we go any further.
As it goes through the engine. Another really neat thing to see is the gimbal over on the left-hand side. The blue square with the dot in the middle shows you the position of the engine as it is steering stage 1.
Stage 2 burn nominal.
So this is showing the stage where we're at, the fuel being burnt, the oxygen and the kerosene.
Altitude now is looking at around about 600,000 feet. Approximately 3 miles per second. Bus voltages for the batteries are nominal. You may have noticed that we had a lower voltage while we were in captive carry,
data source to
and
Madrid.
that's because the power was being provided by Cosmic Girl at that point before we switched over to the rocket's internal batteries.
So let's go and have a look and see what's going on outside, see if there's anything exciting happening. This is our crew rest area. You all right, crew? Yeah. Busy on their pot noodling away. Whoops, I've got the camera wrong way around. Pot noodling away. This is the wave, everybody. You had a good evening? Yeah, good. I'm just going to see what's going on outside. Now, they've just deployed the rocket. I think you saw the most exciting bit and felt it. So here we are. Buses are waiting here now to take people away. Yeah, this is. How was that for you?
Good.
I think you had a chat to a couple of my colleagues up there, didn't you, actually?
Oh, did I?
Yeah. I think they had you on the video phone. Did you see that? Because we were live streaming it in the back of the, back of the van here, yeah. Oh. So where have you come from tonight? We are live streaming this, so that's cool, is it? You're happy
yeah. No, I'm from Cornwall Live, so I've been reporting on it tonight.
Oh, yes. You're from Cornwall Live?
Yes.
Oh, they said, and that's, I'm not from Cornwall personally, so what does Cornwall Live do?
It's the main media news website.
As I said earlier, there are points
We've also
of
got
the
3 weekly papers as well.
Flight where we don't have the
Right,
telemetry
brilliant.
coming
Well,
through
it's
the rockets
great
because
stuff.
we
It's an
are
amazing
out of
thing
view
for
of
Cornwall.
ground stations.
Buses are typical. You wait for
you
years for one. About 10 come along at once. Lovely to see it. All the best.
On our rocket, which means that when we are out of view of the ground stations, we are storing that data so that the next time we do come in view of a ground station, we can download it and
target lock from Madrid. Data source switch to Madrid.
Our Madrid ground station.
So yeah, let's make sure we've still got the audio going out there. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yeah, it looks like we have got audio there. So, and I think we're going to probably finish very soon. But let's just have a quick look. So yeah, been a super evening really. Been just interesting, quite exciting. I think we're going to have to watch out. We're going to have one hell of a bus crush coming up here very, very soon. If I'm not careful, we're going to get pretty mashed. So there you go. That's our green screen studio in the back of the van. And on top, very top there, you'll see we've actually got one of Elon Musk's Starlink satellite dishes. So that gives us up to about 200 megabit internet connection down from his arrays of satellites up there in the sky. And we're getting, the upload's a bit frustrating. The upload tends to be about 15, sometimes 20. And that's what we need for live streaming, because we need to get data from here, obviously up and up into the cloud and then down to you. So that's really quite important. Back here is one of our Steamco drop trucks, and that contains everything you need to run a creativity festival in a school or a primary school, a fete or a festival. And then on the top is a model starship, which we take into schools, have a bit of fun. And I'm the only person here with a camper van with a green screen studio in the back and a surfboard on the roof. So we're not messing about. This is not a lifestyle business, don't you worry. But we're doing our best. So I'm going to go back in now. I think we'll probably wind this up and. Yeah, let's come back in here. Goodness me, well, we've had some lovely comments on the live streams tonight, so very grateful for all of you out there for the good vibes. It really has been very pleasant, very nice, and let's have a listen and see where we're at now.
Thrusters are our PSTs, and their solid rocket boosters are on the back of Launcher 1, and they give the rocket a little push forward to settle our propellants for stage 1. And then we have that main engine start, or MES, for S1. And then you saw over, I think it was about 3 minutes or so, our stage 1 burn, which, as I had said before, does most of the heavy lifting, and our main engine cutoff. Separated from stage 2, and stage 2 has to do the work for the rest of the journey. We start our second stage engine, which is the burn that just happened. And during that burn, we separate our fairings. And what that does, it opens up the pointy end of the rocket, essentially, through ordnance firing. That opens up that section and exposes the payloads. We continue to fly under power on our second stage during that first burn, and then we'll have that cut off. And you can see the graphic on the
Oh dear, we seem to have lost audio from that feed. I don't know why. Not to worry. So
avoids one side of the stage from getting too hot and the other from getting too cold. Our rocket is covered in a spray-on foam insulator, but this is a very standard maneuver procedure that most rocket companies execute. Once we've finished our coast, we will do a second engine start, so SES2. So we restart our second stage engine to lift us a little more, and then we'll cut off that engine, and after that will be our payload separation. And that's when we can start popping champagne corks and dancing. After payload separation, we do have a couple of extra things that we want to do here during this mission, and we will do a maneuver called the CCAM, or the Contamination and Collision Avoidance Maneuver, and then we will actually fire our second stage for a third time, so you'll hear calls for SES, or Second Engine Start 3, and then SECO, or Second Engine Cutoff 3. Once that's complete, we go into a phase that we call safing, and then the mission is complete.
I think that's about that with those guys at the moment there. So I think what we'll do is get our young rocket kids. Why don't you guys come in here just quickly and sit on the stage with me and tell me what you thought of all that nonsense. Go and squeeze on here. We'll get you all on the side here. Look. So let's. So this is the reality. This is everybody. So we've got our.
You can see images on screen right now from our Mission Control Centre over in Cornwall, the UK.
That's it. Let's see if we can get everybody. You might have to stand up because your head's behind that monitor. That's you there, isn't it? But don't go too high because your head will get chopped off at the top, and people will realise that it's all a little bit of a trick. So.
It's been amazing. It's really been lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been great. It's so spectacular to see the plane take off and everyone gather around. It was incredible.
Hang on, let me just get.
Take a moment to say how much we appreciate the folks that came out to Cornwall this evening to watch our launch. It is a historic day, obviously, for the United Kingdom, but for Eastern Europe as well. And we very much appreciate you all being here today, including those folks that have joined us on the live stream through YouTube. Thank you for being here and being part of this journey with us.
From there, so I'm going to have to come on to this one. So yeah, so guys, we've had a great day, I think, and a great evening, haven't we?
Yeah, we really have. It's been amazing.
Fantastic. So let's make some noise and let's have a good old bit of a cheer. Fantastic. I'm going to play it to film. Richard Branson chose the song "Start Me Up," not least because he had a little bit of previous, if you like, with the Rolling Stones. I'm actually going to play a little video that I made of Richard Branson, his face stuck onto Mick Jagger's body as a little sign out, because he chose a rock and roll song. I'm a disco dad, I chose a disco song. So thank you all for joining us today. Woo-hey-hey!
Hold it now, wait, hold it. That's played out. Hit it.
She's just a classic girl from another galaxy. My heart's a zero gravity.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Disco Dad, DJ Dimitri from Paris with the remix of Cosmic Girl there. Absolutely fantastic. And I think what we'll do now is we'll just end the way we started with some of the exciting things that we've been doing on our Mission to Mars tours. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Nick Corson, I'm just a dad, I do what I can. I'm on a mission to raise £1 million to inspire 1 million kids to aim higher than my high vis. Thanks for joining us.
Stage Bravo's go for flight.
I think you'll find this fascinating.
Tomorrow's 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We have liftoff.
Nick Corson told me what he's trying to do. I tell you, he is a one-off.
I love being creative, and I love inspiring children with that creativity, to help them aim not just high, but higher than high.
That's awesome.
That was crazily high.
Okay, so what have you been doing with the children in Coventry today?
Well, I don't know if you saw, but the Inspiration 4 rocket launch last night went off, and that is all about inspiring children to aim high in life, to follow their dreams, to find something they're passionate about and follow that, to maybe make a bit of money, to maybe make a few friends, to make the world a better place. And what we've been doing today is talking to the children about what happened last night, what that meant, because in 30 years, Elon Musk has said he wants to take 1 million people to Mars, which sounds fantastical. But he's built a rocket that can do it, the Starship. He's now building 1,000. Each one can take 100 people, and in 10 years, 10 times 100 times 1,000 is 1 million people in Mars. And I hate to say it, Nick, it's not going to be me and you that are going. We're going to be in care homes. It's the kids in school today. The kids in school today are going to be 40 in 30 years' time. They're going to be right for this. They're going to be perfect. And the amount of children that came up today said, you know what, that could be me, couldn't it, Nick?
Well, my head is now in an absolute whirl. Nick Corson, thank you. Yeah, and he's doing school tours around the country. When I heard I was doing an interview about space travel, I was over the moon.
And for one school in Cornwall, it really is rocket science.
And that's what we're doing. We're sowing that seed. As I say, we're igniting a creativity revolution across the country.
Now, they were aiming high and heading to space at St Just Primary School in Land's End today. Children were getting creative with cardboard to build a Mars landscape and rockets, hoping for a real-life launch this afternoon.
You know the phrase, it's not rocket science? Well, at this Cornish primary school, this is rocket science.
You know, America, where do the rockets take off? Cape Kennedy. Where do they take off in England? Cape Cornwall.
Today's mission at St Just Primary was less about thermodynamics and more about where to apply the sellotape to the paper fuselages.
Putting the paper in was probably one of the harder parts because you had to make it squish in.
And how far do you think it's going to go?
Pretty high, but this bit is quite wonky, so it might go off to one side.
In Mission Control, aka the computer room, Year 3 were learning how to code.
It was fun, but at the start it was a bit hard.
Unfortunately, as so often happens with dynamic flight, there was a hitch with the proper dynamite rocket that was due to lift off.
I hadn't realised there's an airport just down the road until we did the risk assessments, and they weren't able to give us a flight window. But the kids were just as happy rolling pieces of paper like this, a bit of masking tape, a bit of plumber's pipe, and they made rockets. You heard the buzz, you heard the excitement, you saw the looks on those faces of those parents. They want to come back and do this. And that's what we're doing. We're sowing that seed. As I say, we're igniting a creativity revolution across the country.
You know, the kids have had a pretty miserable time during lockdown. There's a big push on getting standards higher, but what we also want to do, and what education's also about, is kids having fun.
John Henderson, BBC Spotlight, St Just.
That looks brilliant. Wish I'd had lessons like that. Did you have lessons like that,
No, I
Dave?
didn't. No.
Great fun.
Yeah. Thank you, Victoria. And the weather was perfect for it, wasn't it?
BBC Radio Shropshire.
7:47, a Shropshire school is preparing to launch a rocket this morning. The man behind the rocket launch is Ludlow's very own Nick Corsten. And Nick joins me on the programme. Good morning.
Here in Shropshire, in the Shropshire Hills, just above Church Stretton, birthplace of the first industrial revolution. So we're better to come to launch a creativity revolution. Had the most fantastic day here today with the community of this school. We live streamed an all-school assembly from a cardboard Mars base camp in the school playground. We live streamed it from a green screen. I'm a Shropshire dad, a Shropshire lad, born and bred in Ludlow. And my journey with Steamco was inspired in no small way by a film that my dad made of me and him when I was 1 and my first train set. A loop of track. He showed me how to make a bridge and use my imagination. I've been showing that to children in the school today. My mother's very ill at the moment, and she reminded me recently of the work that she did with my father and the rest of the community running summer arts and crafts play schemes, how they fundraised using roller discos all through the summer and spring to make the money to run that event. And today, in St Lawrence Primary School here in Church Stretton, we launched the Our Million 22 campaign because I want to inspire 1 million kids to aim not just high but higher than high, to put up to 22 of our Steamco trucks on the road this year with people like me, mums, dads, creative carers, people who care about creativity, who care about children and who care about all our futures. After the assembly down at St Lawrence Primary School, we launched a dynamite rocket. But in our minds, we were launching that starship. So whether you're in Shropshire or anywhere in the country, if you believe in creativity, children and all our futures, I hope you'll chip a quid in to our Creative Carer Patreon. Be a part of it. Wired magazine and The Guardian have said I'm a man on a mission after I co-founded a non-profit 10 years ago to promote creativity with the community of my son's primary school in Paddington. I'm just a dad, but I'm passionate about creativity in our schools, work and lives, and I'm now on a mission to raise £1 million to inspire 1 million kids, and I need your help.
Space is a place that has always beckoned us. We look out and see it and can't help but dream about it.
Wired magazine and The Guardian have said I'm a man on a mission after I co-founded a non-profit 10 years ago to promote creativity with the community of my son's primary school in Paddington. I'm just a dad, but I'm passionate about creativity in our schools, work and lives, and I'm now on a mission to raise £1 million to inspire 1 million kids, and I need your help. Elon Musk's dream of taking 1 million people to Mars in 30 years inspired our Mission to Mars UK tour, which was sponsored by a dad who went to space on one of his rockets. I built a starship from a few bits of metal and a Mars base camp from cardboard and hit the road with a green screen TV studio in the back of a camper van, live streaming into schools and running workshops. We went up through England to Edinburgh, across to Belfast and down through the Lake District to Liverpool to a village school in South Wales. We shared inspiring stories, we created stuff, and we launched rockets to inspire our kids to aim higher and higher with their art. We're launching an appeal to raise £1 million to put 22 of our pop-up day drop trucks and steamsters like me on the road.
You've arrived at your destination.
Inspired by the New Year's Eve fireworks, celebrating our country's creativity, we ran our own event to launch our Ignite 22 year. We now need your help to co-create events that will help us all inspire 1 million kids this year, and for all of us to live a creative life.